Welcome to the show that takes up no more than 5 minutes of your time, but could help you gain massive real estate knowledge. It's 5 Minutes in Real Estate with best-selling author Shane Willis.
Hello, it's Shane Willis, the Principal Real Estate Expert, bringing you today's episode, 5 Minutes in Real Estate, post-Super Bowl. You have to congratulate the Philadelphia Eagles on their Super Bowl win. It was something a lot of people did not expect. So much so that I saw some stuff floating around social media of people getting tattoos of the Patriots with this Super Bowl logo and it has the word champion underneath it. You might want to wait till after the game's over before you do something like that. Anyways, it was a pretty decent game in my opinion. I thought it was a comeback story, something fierce, just because of a backup quarterback and all the stuff the Eagles are facing. So I have no doubt, like I said on Friday, the Patriots have got a system to get them to the Super Bowl. I have no doubt, as long as they keep their current players, that they'll be back in the near future. But anyways, congratulations to the Eagles. That's not what we're here to talk about. I was reading an article over the weekend from Entrepreneur Magazine, and for those of you who are getting all the tips and tricks for that podcast, then you're going to wind up getting a link to this article because it is online. But it was from Entrepreneur Magazine, and it was 12 practical steps to getting wealthy. So some practical steps to getting wealthy. And I wanted to bring it up today just because I got some other reports this morning that kind of coincided with it. So I found this article to be interesting. I'm not going to go over every one of the steps. Like I said, I'll put a link to it. So if you want to read the article, it's a good little read. It does make very, like the title says, practical sense. So some of this does just, it's common sense. But executing common sense sometimes is a little harder said than done. Wait a minute. I think that's backwards. Harder done than said. Anyways, it's Monday. I need another cup of coffee. But we're gonna drive on anyways. Okay, so why I brought this up, because like I said, I'm not gonna go over all 20 of them, but I am gonna go over about 3 or 4 of these that I wanted to, that kind of caught my eye and it made sense. And I wanted to bring it up again just because I've gotten a few phone calls over the weekend that just was driving this point home. The first one being, I think it was number 5 on the list. It said, in order to get wealthy, you need to own the roof over your head. That means you need to own the home, not just rent. It goes on to say something I have said multiple times. Apparently we're doing some foam insulation here in the neighborhood. So sorry about all the background noise. But it goes on to say something that I have said multiple times. Regardless of whether you're paying rent or you own a house, you're paying a mortgage payment. You are. Now, whether you're paying your mortgage payment or whether you're paying your landlord's mortgage payment, you're paying a mortgage payment. I now know that I'm going to hear some dissent. Well, what about the landlord that owns the property free and clear? Or what about me that owns the property free and clear? Okay. So you're the minority. For the most part, you're going to wind up paying someone's mortgage, whether it be yours or the landlord's. And, well, why not it be yours? Now, I've had some conversations. Obviously, I had some Super Bowl get-togethers. And some young guys were coming up going, well, I've got such a good deal on rent here that I would actually have to downgrade to buy. So I've got a much bigger place that I can pay rent that I need to downgrade to buy. So be it, was my answer. To be honest, so be it. Downgrade then. But I think that's an anomaly in today's rental market. Most of the time, the way the rates are so low in the mortgages, you can wind up actually upgrading. Upgrade to your own home. So, Entrepreneur brought it up, said, hey, this is one of the top 12 things that you need to be doing. These are practical things. You need to own the roof over your head. You need to sit down with a mortgage person. You're either, when it comes to real estate in your home, it's a forced savings. You're either going to gain wealth yourself or you're going to gain wealth for the landlord. So that's one of the ones that I wanted to bring up. There were 2 others. One, it said, build multiple streams of passive income. Now, what is passive? Passive means that you're not doing anything. The income's just showing up passively. Now, anytime I ever talk about real estate and I talk about passive income, people always look at me funny, because the true landlords, the true rental managers understand that owning a rental property is not necessarily passive income. But as an investor, it could be. We hire property management companies to manage the day-to-day, to manage the, hey, something's wrong with one of the pipes because we had 3 freezes this winter, or something's wrong with the toilet. You're not getting that call. You build into where you have a property manager that handles all that, and good property managers are worth every penny, because then it does become passive income. There's also derivatives on real estate that you can get into that truly are passive income. I'm one of those weird people that when I see an envelope with the county tax collector, okay, just got a phone call. Not quite sure if that's going to show up in the the podcast or not. But I'm one of those weird people that when I get a letter from the county tax collector, I get a little more excited. Not because I like paying taxes. That has nothing to do with it at all. Instead, it's because I invest in derivatives called tax lien certificates. And a lot of times those letters are a check. So I get a lot more checks from the county tax collector than I get bills. And that's a derivative, and that's definitely passive income. You just have to pay attention to it mainly once a year. So I spend 1 day a year on that investment plan, and the rest of the time I just kind of sit back. So gaining multiple streams of passive income is how you truly build wealth. Finally, the last one I wanted to bring up today, you've got a whole subsection that says invest in what you know. Invest in what you know. Robert Kiyosaki is always famous. If you haven't read his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, stop, go get the book, read it. I know it's on Audible, it's on all this stuff. Read that book. He's got a ton of books out there, but there's a 3-book series that were the original 3. It's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant, and Rich Dad's Guide to Investing. That's like the trilogy. Go get that. And he's famous for saying if you had $1,000, people ask him, if he had $1,000, what would he invest in right now? Well, he famously says, education. I would spend $1,000 understanding an investment. Because once you understand the investment, you make a lot more than just blindly investing in something. So spend the time understanding something and invest in what you understand. All right, that's all I got for you today. As always, if you are not subscribed to get the tips, tricks, the links to the articles that I mentioned in the podcast, get over to 5minutesinrealestate.com. That's 5minutesinrealestate.com. Also, if you're not subscribed to the podcast, go do that right now. It's either iTunes or Google Play. We're on both of them. Hit subscribe so you can get these when we get them updated. And finally, if you found any value in this and any other episode, I ask that you share it on social media. Again, congratulations to the Eagles. Y'all have a good day.